Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. We know what time it is. You can tell by the title of this video, by the semi-festive clothing we are wearing. It's time to decorate for the holidays. And it feels so real this time. Not this time, it feels so real because we're in a home now. We're in our townhome now. So we're gonna start by setting up the tree. It's either gonna go behind me here or in this corner over here. I'm not 100% positive yet. I did look and we have contemplated about getting another tree because we have a nice tree. It's in that little box down there. And it's a 7 foot? Yeah, a 7 foot slim. It's worked in our last two apartments because it's kind of been semi-cramped in space. Now that we have 2 floors and we have a bit of a bigger space. We've thought about getting a bigger one. We kind of want a more full one and one of those twinkly ones, and I should have considered that beforehand. We moved into this place in the end of October and I didn't even think about a Christmas tree because I was too stressed out for moving, too stressed out about everything else. I didn't even think about how this place could be decorated until our furniture was in here and all that. We do have a couch coming, but the couch is not coming until end of January, I think. So we do have a lot of space. A nice big tree would have been perfect, but I did not do my research in enough time, and all of the ones that I wanted have sold out or they're $700, and I'm not paying $700 on a Christmas tree. I barely wanted to spend $500 on a Christmas tree, but I was waiting for it to go on sale, but it sold out before the sale even happened. And so it's like, okay, whatever, and it's fine. We actually went to a couple stores on Black Friday to see what was available, and it was kind of one of those things where I was like, if it's there, it's meant to be. If it's not there, it's not meant to be. So I'm taking it as my sign, as it's not meant to be for me to have a big tree this year, and I'm perfectly okay with that because there's probably going to be bigger and better versions of it next year anyways. So why waste the money for a tree to only be up for a month if I could get one next year and plan accordingly and have a tree up for longer times. I am normally a decorate after Thanksgiving. It is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and that's what we are doing today. That's how I normally do it. I like to enjoy fall, and we had the very most magical thing this morning. It snowed at like 6 a.m. and we had some snow on the ground, and I had woken up and I got to watch it kind of trickle down a little bit. Now unfortunately it has melted already because it doesn't stay snowy like that all the time. It's okay. It was just like one of those, like I felt like Lorelai Gilmore where she's like, I can smell it, it's gonna snow, and I just like woke up and I was like, I have a headache, it's probably gonna rain, and I was like, wait a minute, it's freezing, let's look outside, and it was snowing, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and it just like I feel so weird celebrating this much, but I think because we've had such a stressful last couple months in our old place, I don't know, I feel so settled here. I feel so like adult, like a real adult. It all just feels right, you know? I'm ranting too much. We need to get the decorations out. The tree is out. I'm gonna start with it in this corner, but I think I want it in this corner. It's by the window, fit nicely there. You'll be able to see it from all angles, and I think we'd be good to go there. Let's get this tree set up.
Reality or that dream.
Okay, I think this is as good as she's gonna get right now. We kind of see some like no lights, but I actually take another set of lights and plug them in, and I think they're actually twinkling ones, so it kind of looks like it is a twinkling tree. But I think what I want to do, because I had the idea while I was at the stores looking at them, but I want to see if I can get some garland and fill that in and kind of make it look a little beefier. But then I do have our bottom here, the Christmas Tree Farms little box, and then we put towels and blankets in here because the cats will get in there. And I'd rather them get in there and lay on the blankets than climb up the tree. And then I have this small tote that has the Christmas stuff in it. I have this diamond art, jewel art thing that I did last year that took me so long to finish that I almost threw it away, but I finished it and kept it. We've got, you're gonna see a theme here. We have these gnomes, and then we have these gnomes. I have another pair of pajamas that I've worn on Christmas Eve for the last 3 years. We have the famous Costco Yetis. And then this year in my last vlog, you saw me buy these little guys, even though he doesn't stay up. And then way earlier when the IKEA stuff first came out, we got those two guys. Maybe they're from last year, I can't remember. I have this random guy that I bought at Kirkland's that they were like store closing, and so I was like 30-40% off or something. Just grabbed this little guy. So I forgot that I bought garland at Michael's. I have two of these. It's just a tish darker, but I don't think you'll notice if you just kind of like shove it in the middle, just kind of help fill in the holes. And then I'll take the extra lights that I have and just really put them on the outside of the tree, like that's facing this way, so that it looks like it has even more lights than what it actually does. And then I think it'll really sparkle. So we're gonna try this first. All right, she's a little bit more filled. We just gotta get the lights on. Using a camera is actually really helping me see where the missing pieces are, so I'm actually going to, I can see that spot and that spot, so I'm gonna work on those. Okay, here she is in all her gloriness. It is 5:45 p.m. and it is dark enough out that this is how this tree glimmers. I actually love the little glow that comes out of this corner. It's not too bright, so I'm kind of glad I didn't get a new tree. I just think it's perfect. All right, everybody, it is officially the morning of December 1st, and we are here to do a little bit of Bookmas, a little Vlogmas, kind of a mix of those. I am not going to be posting every single day, as I don't really think I have that much of a exciting life to film and edit and post every single day, because literally Monday through Friday up until Christmas I will be working my 9 to 5 and like not really doing anything after work except for maybe going for quick grocery runs. More exciting stuff may take place on the weekends, so not going to be doing an everyday thing. But to start Vlogmas off right, well, I guess it would more be categorized as Bookmas. We obviously did the Christmas decorating, and we're going to talk a little bit about books, because in my description you probably saw that I was going to talk about a winter TBR or a winter kind of December reads, holiday reads, and that's what I'm going to do right now. We love books, and I love reading holiday books mainly because a lot of them tend to be kind of shorter, or the novella, and I love just like the quick stories. It gives like Hallmark vibes, because I like to put that on all the time and just kind of have it in the background. Who doesn't love a cheesy love story? And you just need a little escape. So I'm going to do, it's a bit of a like kind of three things. There's the books I read last year, the books I want to read this year, the books I'm gonna reread, and I guess some wintry. There's two books that are not Christmas but winter-esque, so I guess that's 4 things. And we're just gonna talk about those real quick. So I'm gonna start with the ones that I read last year. I'm not gonna go too into detail with these. They're just all straight romance, because that's all I read last year, and that's what I feel like a lot of these holiday books are. To start with what I read last year, I read my first Tessa Bailey books last year with Wreck the Halls and Window Shopping. These were some fun ones, definitely on the higher end of spice. This one was an interesting take on spice for him. If you've read it, you know what I mean. They were fun little ones, and this one gave me such nostalgia because it is based in New York City and it talks about her designing windows for storefronts. And as somebody who works as a visual merchandiser and loves to do all those big sets that would come out, it just like gave me so much nostalgia of that. Not even nostalgia, that's not the right word, but it took me back to my time when I did that job. And you know, you kind of get to be creative, and that's something that I am, a creative person. It also reminded me of New York City with like going to Saks on Fifth Ave to see all the window displays and just seeing them all throughout the city, and made me think of all of the wonderful things that New York does during the holidays. My favorite is definitely the shops at Bryant Park. If you ever go to New York City during wintertime, please go to the shops at Bryant Park. Some of the best food you will ever eat will be there, and some really fun shopping. These two books read last year, I definitely recommend them. And then we read two more. All I Want Is You by Fallon Ballard. This one was a fun little read. It is about two authors who, I think they go to not a retreat, but they go to like a conference or something, and then they end up snowed in at an inn in one room. And I think we all know what that leads. And this is also a second chance, if I am correct. I can't remember, but it was still a fun read. So much so that I really liked her writing, that I bought a few more books recently by Fallon. Still a good read. We then had my favorite read last year, and that is The Christmas Countdown by Holly Cassidy. I really liked the aspect of the countdown. And I don't know if it's just because I do love Christmas. It's something that my mom and I shared and just loved decorating with her. And so the countdown, I think, was something that really just like felt very Christmassy. It wasn't just a romance taking place over Christmas, but their story is so fun, and the like semi-slow burn. It is closed door, and I loved these two characters. They were so much fun. I've almost thought about reading it again this year, but I have so many more sitting out here that I can't. I'm like, unless I'm going to read 30 books this month, which some of them are short enough that I could probably read them in an evening if I wanted to, because a lot of them are under 300 pages, and I love that. So I have a couple books that I have read but did not read during Christmas time that I think everyone will know. The first one, The Christmas Tree Farm by Laura Gilmore. We've all seen this series, the Dream Harbor series. Such a fun one. I do think you might need to read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe before you read this, just because you are introduced to the MMC in this book through that book. I mean, it's a Christmas tree farm. It takes place right before Christmas. What do you think is going to entail? Also a romance. But this one was kind of fun just because it's that thing of like, he is somebody who fixes things and she doesn't like people helping her. And so that dynamic is kind of a fun one in this book. Next, I think this one I'm going to reread this year because I do love this story, and I probably read it a year and a half ago, and I kind of want to reread it. And that's The Love Light Farms by B.K. Borgeson. This is my favorite book in this series. The other three are good as well, but this one is probably my favorite. The why they're fake dating is really fun in this one, and I think it's a cute little small town romance. These two both being small town is funny. As someone who is from a small town, it kind of takes me back to my childhood, and you sometimes miss small town, but then you sometimes don't. But this one is such a fun read, and I loved these two, and I love the little, what are they, the little car scent things, and the significance behind this. I definitely recommend it. You can continue the series if you want to, but I definitely recommend reading at least this one. The next two are not Christmas or holiday, but they are winter, and the first one is The Lodge by Kayla Olson. This one I listened to on audio that I got through Book of the Month, and it was actually a really fun thing to like listen to. It's the first one I've ever like listened to while working instead of like cleaning around the house, and I was still able to like pay attention to the book while also paying attention to work. But this was a fun one, and it was just a cute little snowy read, and it made me like really want to go to somewhere where I can go skiing. Like, it gave me that mood where I wanted to like learn how to go ski, and I kind of almost want to reread it because I just listened to it last time, but I kind of want to read it. I don't know, maybe I'll try and do it together, like read and audiobook, but it's a good one. And then the last one that is more kind of wintry vibes is Any Trope But You by Victoria Levine. This one just seemed fun because the back says, best-selling romance author Margaret Bradley has a secret. She doesn't believe in happily ever afters. Not for herself, not for her readers, and not even for her characters for whom she secretly writes alternative endings that swap weddings and babies for divorce papers and the occasional slash tire. I just think that's so funny because, like, clearly these are romance authors and they're she's writing about a romance author who actually doesn't believe in happily ever afters. And I just think that's a funny take, and it just seems like a really fun read, especially since the document comes out and people like boycott her, and then she's gonna become like a murder thriller writer now. I don't know, it just seems like a fun time. So the next books are holiday books that I haven't read, and some of them are gonna be on kind of like a what I want to read this year. But as I was picking all of these up, I was reading the backs of them and I went, wow, I really want to add like all of these to my TBR, and there's 9 of them, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? I can't read. I don't know if I have the time to read this many books. The first one I want to read is actually on my 10 before the end, and that's Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. This is the only one that has a little, not fantasy, spirits, I guess. So it's a little, not a regular romance. It's B.K. Borison. She's an auto buy for me, so of course I grabbed it when it came out and I saved it for now. So we're gonna be reading this winter. The next one is The Christmas Wager by Holly Cassidy. I loved The Christmas Countdown so much and the writing that I had to add this one. But I do want to read it this year because she is a fun writer and I really enjoyed reading her book last year that I want to read this one. I do plan on doing a read for 24 hours type of thing as a video and a reading holiday books for a week. So hopefully I can attack some of these pretty easily and get a bunch of them done. I'm hoping it snows or like stays cold outside so that I can just like cozy up in here and just like get a blanket, get the TV going with like the fireplace ambiance, get some jazz music going and just Okay, next up is The Christmas Catch by Tony Shalhoub, or Shiloh, it might be Shiloh. This one I grabbed because this is a sweet holiday novella. Again, I like these books when they are under 300 pages. This one is 215, so that's a perfect holiday read. I could read this in an evening. I would just, like how I'm imagining it, the couches behind me right now is like this will be lit. The window will be lit up because I've got my little lights there. And like I said, get that like fireplace ambiance, holiday music going. This is what I imagine. And this is gonna be one of those books that I do that with. So I can't wait to read this one. Next, this one really wanted to come out into the works. This is Mistletoe Season. It is 3 books by 3 different authors. We have Say No to Mistletoe by Sheila Roberts, Return to Mistletoe by Kathleen Fuller, and The Mistletoe Prince by Pepper Basham. This I didn't even realize was 3 books when I bought it, but it made me love it even more because one, I haven't heard of these 3 authors, so it's going to introduce me to 3 new authors. That's what I also love about holiday books, is that I will fully just grab off of the title and the illustration on the cover, that I won't even obviously see the authors, but I will grab them and then I'm introduced into new authors because like I said, Holly Cassidy, I love her writing in these books, and Fallon Ballard, I'm gonna drop books now. I bought more of these books by these people because I really loved their writing from their holiday books that I wanted to read their other books. So this is why I love holiday books. Again, these are gonna be little novellas, so they're, I mean the whole book itself is 300 pages, literally 300 pages, and there's 3 stories in here. I can either read them all in one sit down, or I can read one, maybe cook lunch or something, read the next one, have dinner, read the next one, or I can just split them up. I really want to read this, and I love a mistletoe theme. I don't know why, I never even like really had mistletoe growing up. It wasn't part of our regular decorations, but I think because I've seen so many mistletoes in like Hallmark movies, I'm like, oh, it's such a like a holiday tradition thing, and it's kind of an interesting one. I love finding either new traditions or new things to try regarding holidays, and so I was like, mistletoe it is. I also pulled out my holiday mugs. This is a cup. It's got a little snowman on it, and I have one with Santa hats just to make me feel even more. And then I got my Santa shirt on today. Next we have The Winter Wish by Emily Stone. This one is interesting. This one is about Lexi, and her father passes and they're not really in touch with each other, but he like gives her his travel business, and not only is it just a travel business, it's a niche business specializing in trips that explore the holiday traditions of cultures all over the world. And I grabbed this because I'm wondering if it's gonna like dive into like other countries and how they celebrate holidays and their holiday traditions. So I was really intrigued on the aspect of how do other people celebrate? Like I know how I celebrate, but I don't really know how others do it. I listened to the Tony and Ryan podcast and they've talked about Christmas. They're in Australia and it's something you don't really think about because Australia is actually warm during Christmas and during the holiday season. People go to the beach because that's the weather they have in the southern hemisphere, and it blows my mind. And so seeing other cultures and seeing what their traditions are, hopefully they talk about it in this. I'm intrigued. Next we have Christmas is All Around by Martha Waters. This one, it's not Love Actually vibes, but it made me think of Love Actually because she is like in a holiday movie that's very famous. They want to reboot it. She, I guess, is saying no. And people are like, why are you doing this? We all want this. And she's like, no, I don't want to do it. And she ends up going to this area in her hometown, I think, that has this huge family business that is like Christmas themed, and she meets this guy who is the son of the owners, and there's supposed to be some fun things going on. She illustrates holiday movie sets now, and the guy, Graham, offers to escort her, and then it says as Charlotte's chaotic family holiday goes awry, she begins spending more time to scout locations with Graham. She may not love a Christmas romance, but what if she has one of her own? So that seems like a fun one. Okay, the next three I wasn't going to include, but these were the ones that I read. I read the backs of them and I was like, okay, these are actually kind of crazy. Two of them you'll know. I think they were pretty popular last year. And one of them is different. So the first one is Bright Lights Big Christmas by Mary Kay Andrews. This one is about, her name is Carrie Tolliver. They have a Christmas tree farm, I think, or like her family does, in North Carolina, and they like trek up to Greenwich Village to sell trees, and she meets a man who has a son, and we go from there. And she is somebody who, what does it say? Carrie Tolliver, newly unemployed and romantically unattached. So we're going from no job, no love, to meeting someone and their son. Okay, the next one is The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. I think we've all seen this one last year, and I didn't know what it was about. I just kind of grabbed it. It was a popular one. Wanted to grab it and never read it last year. But when I read the back of it, I was intrigued by the story because it says the town that Noah Yates lives in had a hurricane. And they live in Mary, Connecticut. And a hurricane turns the town into a disaster. And then it says, until renovation expert and reality TV star Catalina King shows up. And then they continue to say her name as Kat. Like she goes by Kat, C-A-T. They talk about how the town was a bit of a disaster because of a hurricane that happened. And now this person named Catalina comes in who goes by Kat. And I swear to God, if they do a hurricane cat joke, I'm going to laugh my ass off. Because I'm already seeing it. They're gonna say Hurricane Cat came through, or Category 5 hurricane came through, or something like that. I can see it and I want to know if they do it, so that is why I will be reading this book this year. Also, I do just love the simplicity of this like red cover with the white snowflakes. I don't know why, it's just simple, but I like it. The last one on the list is Christina Lauren's In a Holidays, and I didn't realize it was kind of like almost kind of like a Groundhog Day thing. Yeah, it says, the next thing she knows, tires screech, metal collides, everything goes black, but when May gasp awakes, she's on an airplane bound for Utah where she begins the same holiday all over again. And it's just kind of giving that like Groundhog Day where it's you relive the same day over and over again until you figure out what the magic is. Yeah, May must figure out how to break free of the strange time loop and finally get her true love under the mistletoe. Her family shares a house in Utah with two other families, so is this gonna be like a love triangle thing? What is this gonna be about? And just the Groundhog Day of it all is giving me kind of fun vibes. These two were like originally not gonna be on the list of what I wanted to read this year just because they are a bit longer books. And I do like the shorter ones, as I've said. And so when I read the backs of these, I was like, okay, I think I need to read these now. And I think I'll even take them as like maybe into the new year. Like I'll definitely read them past the 25th, maybe up into the 1st. But we have some other big things planned with this channel. As I've said, we kind of are trying this Bookmas, Vlogmas type of thing. And I think I planned at least 7 or 8 videos that I want to make, and I think I can kind of cut that up to where it's 2 a week, which I think is enough for me to take on. It's not too much that I'm gonna get overstressed or burnt out or just not enjoy it or enjoy my time doing this and like feel like I have to hit a certain deadline of things and I'm doing too much. I am not the greatest or fastest editor out there, and I still want to make decent videos, or at least videos that I'm proud of, and put those out. So I think 2 a week is a good start. And then when we get into the new year, we have some other fun things planned that we will get more into at the end of this month that will kind of push us forward for the new year. And it's making me really excited, and it's making me motivated to film more and do more. I do think I am mostly going to be a long form person. I don't think short form is for me. I don't know how these people do all of this. I will end the episode here. We've got the decorations up, we've got the holiday books ready, and I am so pumped. I love decorating for the holidays, but I always feel like it goes by too fast. And then we're like, all of a sudden it's January and it's gotta come down. The tree might stay up longer just to give the dopamine that I need, because I mean, having a Christmas tree up is just so much fun and so pretty. And if you're still here, thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate it. We've got more videos to come this month, more books to come this month, more. And we're happy and we're excited. But thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to support me and my channel, please hit the subscribe button, like, comment if you want to, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.